Hey, what's up? Meta's Reality Labs, the team behind Meta's XR, extended reality, augmented reality, virtual reality, they have a really important meeting on January 14th, called together by Andrew Bonsworth, the head of the team. It's an unusual meeting in the sense that's meant to be an in-person meeting. It's meant to be a meet rumored to be a meeting that's gonna be really important for the future of reality labs. And I'm just gonna give my thoughts on what it likely is, what it's referring to, and then why that matters to me individually. So right now, for the longest time, for a couple of years, Meta's reality labs, like the virtual reality product lines of Meta, have not been doing as well as they should be, as they would probably want them to be. Originally, the metaverse was my pitch system that's meant to be really big. Everyone's meant to be hopping on meetings on the metaverse. People are meant to be surfing, like, hey, join my XR reality or join my VR world, something like that. That did not happen. People don't really use, like, even people who have VR headsets don't use them as often. That's a common thing. Um, so what's really happens is that they're incurring probably more cost than they're making money in that regard. I think what they're probably going to shift to is embodied AI. And the reason I say it's not just because the lack of success from them, but more so if you look at the internal restructure of Meta from what I've seen because I'm on the team. If from what I've seen, it likely seems to be a shift from embodied AI. You have Jan LeCun who left due to a conflict of interest where he was no longer interested in the large language model architecture as a means to get to artificial general intelligence. He was more so interested in other modalities or stuff that understood other modalities um, than text better. So I think world models and spatial intelligence. And you have in the Lee Chen Miller, the head of their glasses lineup, she in November moved to their robotics division in Reality Labs. And if you just look at the other, if you just look at other companies and what's going on externally, you're going to like the industry seems to be shifting more to embodied AI, right? And with embodied AI, that comes with understanding other modalities like vision, hearing, stuff like that. And that becomes like, okay, how can you perceive reality, world models, stuff like that. So I think that's really what's going to matter. I think that's what the media is going to be focused on. I think it's going to be a shift from just XR for XR's sake and more so understanding how you can focus on embodied AI and combine that with like virtual reality because I do think those are two things that do have a lot of correlation. I think it's interesting. I think it makes sense for them as a company. I think they've done well on the large language model side, so it makes no sense for them to purely focus there when the industry is shaping up to build another industry within itself in the sense of embodied AI and world models. So I think Meta is really it's the best play to go and pivot that company, pivot that lab to that. I also think what's probably going to happen it's not going to be something where it's like a public announcement. It's probably going to have some leaks and then someone says some business inside the woman is focusing on. But in like summer and March, maybe they have a public announcement. They probably do an acquisition of a company like World Labs to kind of get their talent and kind of populate the team. Um, well, no, I think it's interesting. Why I'm personally interested because right now that's a field I'm really interested in terms of world models and spatial intelligence, and it's something where I acknowledge that I'm very behind in terms of my skills. Like there's a large gap from where I want to be and where I currently am. But if the thing that has helped in a childish sense is that world models aren't that popular in terms of the term in terms of like general CS what people are interested in right now. I think the most popular thing I could probably think of is software engineering and you probably have AI applications, right? But when like you say world models, like most people don't even know what they are and just don't care at all. So something that's always been helpful is that if I was able to increase my skill, my knowledge, I have less competition to compete with. I know that sounds bad in terms of like, oh, I don't you she should want to compete with others. But then in this sense, what people are going to notice, even after CES, from what I've heard, it's been very robotic focused. What people are going to probably notice that this is the shift the industry is going to, and what happens is that students are pretty quick to pick up on stuff like this. I imagine, especially at top schools. So students are going, okay, how do I ensure my career trajectory keeps me employed for the next 10, 15 years? So that's why I'm waiting for when like I understand the shift is currently going on in academia in terms of their interest, but I'm wondering where when the shift for students is going to come in. Because when that happens, then like the competition increases, and I have to be by the time that happens, right? I have to be like 15 years ahead of the competition so I can stay ahead and get the positions where I can continue growing my skill, contributing to the field and doing research. Um, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I think it's something where I'm really excited about this field. I think it's a really amazing field. I love talking about it with anyone who will listen. So I'm excited. I think, yeah, another side effect I found is that with internship applications, still looking, something that's really hard is that I've become really disinterested with anything that does not involve spatial intelligence or world models, which is really bad because I should be interested in a lot of stuff, right? I should be applying. But like I'll see like I'll see like a data thing, right? Or not data, 'cause actually I'm just on data. I'll see like maybe a general SWE one or something like that. I wouldn't feel that compelled to apply because like, okay, ideally, this is not my ideal thing, right? It's not even the realm of stuff I want to work on. It's like it doesn't really stack up to the career I want to go to. It doesn't align with my goals. It's more so just for having an internship to have an internship shake, right? To get that skills. But I want to focus on have like I purely just want to apply to like those type of roles, which I don't think is like due to the industry still shifting there and due to that not being something that's really popularized right now, it's not there's not a lot of undergrad roles. So even with NVIDIA, I couldn't find that many undergrad roles for spatial intelligence and world models. Funny enough, a lot of them I did find were either in China, Australia, and all of them were like PhD required. So unless I have a PhD somehow, I cannot do those. But that's where I am. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I think meta reality I can't speak. And that's what I think meta reality labs is gonna do. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. But besides that, I have nothing else to say. So have a great day.